The WCE Tryouts Pre-Qualifier premiered live on YouTube Shorts in late 2023 and finally made its conclusion in early 2024. The tournament consisted of the top 16 wrestling prospects, all going to battle to avoid elimination. Each superstar had to compete in a one-on-one matchup, where the only way to win was by climbing a ladder and retrieving a WCE briefcase. Inside the briefcase was a WCE contract, which not only is a guaranteed spot on the roster, but also grants entry into the WCE Championship Tournament for the first major title in company history. Only 8 superstars were able to qualify, and those people were Warlord, Riley the Rebel, Hollywood, Harvey, The Punisher, Blake Allen, Tyler Angel, AK-47, and Wesley Wolfe. These 8 superstars will advance to the 2024 WCE Tryouts, where they will compete against a randomly selected WCE veteran from the original roster. The event will give the general managers the opportunity to scout which prospects they want to sign to their brand for the 2024 WCE draft coming soon. Now that the pre-qualifier has concluded, it's time for us to take a look at the best moments of the WCE Tryouts pre-qualifier. And like Huncho likes to say, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, the whole shebang. Now without further ado, here is the voice of the WCE, Phillip Stanley.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, world-famous poet, podcaster, color commentator, and all-around fantastic freaking human being, the voice of WCE, Phillip Stanley. And sadly, my co-host once again, probably the worst professional wrestler in the history of the sport, Van Luis.
Okay, I see. So you've already started your bullshit today, Phil? Just you wait till the tryouts when I give you a wedgie in front of your mum, you stupid wanker.
Go to hell, Van! But speaking of the WCE tryouts, that brings us to our first topic of today's show. The pre-qualifiers have finally come to an end, and we now know the 8 new prospects that have advanced to the first round of the 2024 tryouts. They will compete against 7 other superstars that are returning to the company and a fan-voted talent from the community, but we will not know exactly who those individuals are until the tryouts. The anticipation is killing me, but we've still got all the exciting matches that just transpired, so now let's rank the 8 matches from the 2024 WCE tryouts pre-qualifier. At number 8, we have the third match of the second pre-qualifier between Shane Colt and AK-47, and this match was completely one-sided. After AK-47 hit Shane Colt with the bullet bomb on the floor padding, he then dragged him all throughout the high school venue and eventually forced him into a classroom where he power-bombed Colt through one of the tables. That's coming out of your paycheck, Mr. AK. After that, the human weapon AK-47 was able to easily return to the ring and retrieve the briefcase, advancing himself to the WCE tryouts. Next up at number 7, we got Riley the Rebel versus Kenny Cashman at the first pre-qualifier. This match was a breakout performance for Riley and was the opposite for Mr. Cashman. Kenny mostly ran and tried dirty attacks, but none of it would stop the Rebel from grabbing the briefcase and securing the victory. Now at number 6 was the showdown between Brooklyn native Blake Allen and Japanese sensation Yuri Shibata. This match was back and forth the entire time, but thanks to a pair of brass knuckles hiding in his singlet, Blake Allen was able to knock out Yuri and grab the briefcase while he was down, advancing Blake to the tryouts. Shibata was not happy about this and had some choice words after the match, but Blake Allen was not trying to hear any of it, pushing Yuri Shibata out the way and strolling out the arena with his briefcase. While normally I would have called this a cheap tactic to win, it was perfectly legal under the stipulations of a ladder match being no disqualification. So fair play to Blake Allen, I guess. At number 5, we have the Lucha Libre superstar El Jefe versus the giant Hollywood Harvey. Harvey attacked his opponent before the match to try and steal an easy victory, but El Jefe would end up still competing even with his injuries he received backstage. The match was much better than everyone expected, but it would seem the attack before the match would play in Hollywood's favor as Harvey was able to pick up the W and made sure El Jefe saw the lights. Coming in at the 4th spot is the first matchup that took place at the pre-qualifiers, and that was Warlord versus Aiden Collins. Warlord put on a show, and Aiden did put up a worthy performance, but as the match went on, progressively got more out the box with his attack strategy. Warlord did not waver and powered his way to a solid victory to become the first qualifier of the WCE Championship Tournament. Alrighty, and the 3rd spot on the list goes to none other than the talented prospect out of Memphis, Curtis Wade, and former undefeated prizefighter, The Punisher. On paper, it was a major advantage for The Punisher with his combat experience and larger size, but Curtis did not back down from the challenge. It was an extreme matchup that could have went either way, but in the end, The Punisher was too much for Wade and would grab the briefcase in the final match of the first pre-qualifier. Next is the second match on our list, and that was the battle between 2 rising stars from the UK, Parker Bannon and Wesley Wolfe. These 2 men were very familiar with each other from the indies, and they both showed why they deserve a spot in the WCE WCE. Towards the end of the match, Parker slammed Wesley's head onto the turnbuckle pad, which caused a bad cut on his forehead that would have made most people go seek medical attention. But Wesley turned the tables, stealing the finisher of WCE veteran Ace Adams twice in a row. After that, Wesley Wolfe surged to victory, becoming the final superstar to qualify for the WCE tryouts. Wesley Wolfe definitely seems like he wanted to send a message to the wildcard Ace Adams, so hopefully he is one of the returning mystery superstars in the championship tournament. And now the #1 pick. The best match of the WCE tryouts pre-qualifier was Tyler Angel versus James Raiden. And holy moly, I could not predict who would come out on top in this match because these two men fought like hell to make it into the WCE. Towards the end of the match, James Raiden was seconds away from retrieving the briefcase, but somehow Tyler Angel got back to his feet, climbed the ladder, and hit Raiden with a suplex out of the ring directly onto another ladder connected to the barricade. And even with James still getting up, he could not hold onto the ladder as Tyler retrieved the case. That was by far the best match so far, and those were our rankings for the pre-qualifier. Now, last episode, we had the first 4 new superstars to qualify for the 2024 WCE Championship Tournament. So today, we are going to speak with the remaining 4 prospects that were able to retrieve a briefcase containing a WCE contract. With us via satellite is Blake Allen, Tyler Angel, AK-47, and Wesley Wolfe. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We know you all are preparing for the tryouts coming up this week, so we will try not to take too much of your time. First, I have a question for you, Blake. You used the brass knuckles as a sneak tactic to knock out your opponent, Yuri Shibata. And after the match, it looked like you guys had some words for each other. What was said that ultimately led to you shoving him out the way and storming off?
Well, he basically came to me crying, saying I cheated him. And I just said, man, off and pushed him out of my way. You see, I'm always prepared, and just because that dumbass didn't take advantage of the fact there was no rules isn't my problem. Bada bing, bada boom, you done, kid.
Boom shaka laka indeed. Now, let's ask Tyler Angel a question next. You had the match that WCE selected as the best in the entire pre-qualifier, putting on a show against James Raiden. What was it that kept you moving forward even when the tides were turning in the other corner's favor?
I've seen the gates of heaven and the flames of hell. I have a higher purpose, and you shall see in time what my role in this is. The cycle has begun, and to maintain the balance, I will do what I was meant to do at the tryouts.
Okay, that was creepy as Phil, he's scaring me.
And for once, I actually agree with you, Van. But speaking of scary, let's talk to Mr. AK-47, who absolutely dismantled his opponent, Shane Cole, almost leaving him laid out backstage after putting him through a table in one of the classrooms. You obviously have no regard for other competitors' safety. Do you feel that what you did was necessary to ensure the victory?
I mean, what the type of question is that? Let me say this loud and clear for everyone in that locker room. I don't care if you're a qualifier, a WCE veteran, or some scrub from Proving Ground. I will bulldoze through all of you, and there's not a damn person on this earth stopping an AK with their bare hands. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, loud and clear. Lots of heat fuming from this interview today for some reason. Let's get to the final qualifier of the 2024 WCE tryouts. One of my favorite competitors in the competition. And yes, I'm biased because we are both hailing from the UK. But anyways, Wesley Wolfe, you had a compelling match against another British prospect in Parker Bannon. Not only did you defeat your opponent in impressive fashion, but you also seem to have taken a jab at WCE veteran Ace Adams using his finishing move bend or break twice, then talking aggressively towards the camera. Were you trying to send a message to the wildcard, and if so, what made you do so?
Well, first of all, Van, let me give my respects to Parker for the battle he put me through at the pre-qualifier. We both came up from the same roots, and we put our lives on the line in that ring. You have my respect, brother. Hopefully we cross paths again in the future. As for what I did in that match, there's a clear reason behind it. You see, the WCE fans remember the first episode of Crash, where every superstar that competed got called a veteran, and all this cheap praise for one night. And people like Blake and Ace walking around acting so dishonorable, all I see is weakness. When I looked into that camera, I said, come on then, let's dance. And that wasn't just directed at Ace. I know the entire WCE locker room was watching that match. Even with blood running down my eyes, I still showed you the way of the wolf. And Ace, I bet you're salty. I used your pathetic finisher. I'd use my own, but I'm saving it for when we cross paths in that ring. I'll be honest, bruv, the bend or break is powerful, but what my move will do to you will be worse than what you did to Owen.
Now wait a goddamn second, you got me all the way f***ed up. Who the hell you calling weak mother f***? That little prick you're all buddy-buddy with now is half your damn size and still left you looking like you lost a fight to a ketchup bottle. Now, I don't know how y'all get down in the UK, but I'm from New York. Brooklyn, to be exact.
Oh, really, Blake? Because you sure as hell don't sound like it.
Damn straight I am, and I can show you better than I can tell you.
And what in bloody hell does that mean, Blake? If you have to use where you're from to sound so formidable, then does that justify using those brass knuckles on Yuri Shibata? Tell me, if you and I stepped in that ring and I kick your ass in front of the entire world, would that make me more from Brooklyn than you? That's the most pathetic shit I've ever heard. You use where you're from not to honor it, but to use it as some cheap badge to flash at the world, to hide the fact you're just a little pussy on the inside. Any real man can see that. But like I said, let's dance.
And once again, the tension continues to rise between these competitors heading into the 2024 WCE tryouts. But before you guys throw poison darts through your cameras, let's end it with this. Each of you please say one last thing to the WCE universe before you guys sign off. Blake, we'll start with you and go down the line.
Better watch your fucking back, Wesley.
The cycle has begun. I am the balance. I wish a motherfucker would try me. That belt is going home with 47, and there's no one on this roster that can do a damn thing about it.
Good luck to all of you. You're going to need it if you face the Wolfe.
All right, once again, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We will see you at the tryouts this upcoming week. Now, I'm sure many of you have questions about the upcoming WCE draft taking place after the 2024 tryouts. So, to give us more details, joining me via video call are the three men that make up the backbone of this company, the general managers of each WCE brand. Returning to the show from Crash is Dalton Long from Proving Ground. We have Lenny Chang, and last but not least, we have from War, Byron the Tank Perry. Thank you for coming on the show once again. The first question I have is for Lenny Chang. You have organized this entire competition that will ultimately lead to the highly anticipated 2024 WCE draft. Could you please explain why the tryouts are so relevant in this occasion, as well as give a deeper explanation to how the draft will be conducted?
Well, Van, the 2024 WCE tryouts have a lot of pieces to its puzzle. One of them being that each of the 8 prospects that qualified will all go against a mystery opponent for the first round. The 2 confirmed superstars we at least know will be in the tournament are the individuals that debuted on my brand Proving Ground, Griffin Danger and Grant X, if he is able to compete after getting attacked by Nicholas Lee at the airport. That leaves 6 more spots. 5 of them are returning WCE talents from the WCE original premiere, and 1 fan voted superstar. Now that voted superstar will be determined by the people watching at home. It will be a ballot between the superstars with the most votes from the eliminated pre-qualifier competitors, or it will be a superstar uploaded to WWE 2K23 community creations with the hashtag WCE Huncho. But like I said, the mystery will be solved at the tryouts. Now, in terms of the draft, Dalton Long and Byron Perry will be watching closely to see which superstars they feel would fit best on their brand. And also keep in mind, the 2nd and 3rd rounds will take place on those shows, and the final winners from each brand will represent them at our first PLE event of the year, Death Mountain, in the co-main event for the WCE World Championship.
Well then, it seems at the tryouts, these superstars will need to give their best performances, not only to advance in the competition, but also make a case for the draft. And to help these individuals better understand what each brand is looking for, let's see what the general managers of the major brands have on their checklist. Starting with you, Mr. Long, please let the competitors know what it takes to make it onto the red brand.
Well, what my brand Crash is looking for are the wrestling legends of tomorrow. We take pride in having the most skilled superstars compete at the highest level to represent this company. That type of talent is what makes moments in wrestling that we always remember with pride, dignity, and not just some bullshit table spot every time to dig for ratings. The best competition in the world will be on the red brand, so if you want a shot, you better give it your all at these tryouts.
Okay, so you heard it here first. Dalton Long is looking for larger-than-life talent to join Crash, but let's now see what the Tank is looking for to join the Blue Army. Byron, tell these superstars what it takes to join War.
Well, first of all, if you prefer tables or whatever the else you have to use from time to time to survive survive on this roster, then the blue brand is where you belong. You see, that jackass Dalton Long wouldn't know real wrestling if I slapped him with some sweaty ear guards. I was once a superstar, and I have been world champion. There are times where we must put caution to the wind and do whatever the fuck we gotta do to ensure our spot. So join the Blue Army, come to war. If you'll win by any means necessary, you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, I bet it is you, drunk bar-fighting prick.
You shut the fuck up when I'm talking. And for the record, I got in only one bar fight.
Only one?
At least
Do you
in
hear
the
this,
last
man?
week. That's good for the tank, damn it. You.
This is the general manager of a major wrestling brand, and he just said one brawl a week at Boozerville is normal. If the chairman and James Bartlett are watching, please terminate this delinquent for everyone's sake.
You know, Dalton, every time you speak, I just want to take a baseball bat and swing for a home run on your gigantic forehead. You look like you play dominoes for Lunchables in the back of a Walmart, you lame.
Oh boy, here we go again. Can't take these two anywhere.
Shut up, Lenny!
Bloody hell, you just got shut down, Lenny. My goodness. And for the record, Byron, Lunchables aren't that bad. I mean, if it's the one with the Oreo, it's ship-shape in my opinion. But anyways, let's finish this up before you guys start acting a fool again, starting with Dalton. Are there any WCE veterans or new prospects that you already have your sights on?
Well, in a perfect world, I'd be able to bring back all the previous Crash superstars. But out of the new talent, I definitely have my eyes on Warlord. Wesley Wolfe is probably the unanimous favorite, but let's not forget about the Proving Ground superstars taking a step up. Grant X is an outstanding talent, and Griffin Danger is called the high-flying phenomenon for a reason. It's going to be challenging coming up with my number one pick, but the person I have in mind, I'll keep a secret until the draft actually begins. I can't wait to see who piques my interest at the tryouts, though, so all I can do is wait.
Indeed, and those are for sure some powerhouse picks that I'm sure the WCE fans would love to see on the Red Brand's roster. But now let's ask Mr. Perry who he is watching closely. Byron, who checks the boxes out of the 2024 draft pool.
Well, unlike Dalton, I have a little more brains, and I will keep my veteran picks a secret. You will watch me take talents that he didn't give a proper opportunity and allow them to become the larger-than-life superstars they really are, with no personal bias in the way of ranking, only what they do in that ring. I will give props to the newcomers, though, because if people like Wesley Wolfe, The Punisher, oh, and can't forget about Tyler Angel as well. But yes, their performances were definitely top tier in my book. I do like Grant and Griffin from Proving Ground, but my goal is to give one of the new prospects that number one pick to ensure the world sets their eyes on the future of this company. At the 2024 WCE tryouts, I hope all the competitors show why they're war material. Boom!
Very exciting. Both general managers seem to have a strategy going into this draft. Let me also remind everyone there will be a mystery superstar entered into this tournament that you, the fans at home, will have to vote for. So make sure to keep your eyes on the Huncho for 10TV community tab so you don't miss all the ballots. Lenny, could you let us know how the voting has been going so far and who is leading currently?
Well, the voting has been very interesting so far, considering the fact it's been broken up into smaller ballots, as we are still waiting to add the brand new fan pick. But the way it's looking, we may have a kickoff on YouTube Shorts before the actual tryouts between whoever from the first and second pre-qualifier has the most votes. Those two men will face off for that final spot in the bracket. The second pre-qualifier votes are still in the air, but the ballot for the first one, on the other hand, have been very back and forth. Curtis Wade has been getting some love from the fans, but it seems the two leading the pack right now are the American Eagle Aiden Collins and the Lucha superstar with no quit in his blood, and that's El Jefe. But to see who actually makes it, you'll need to tune in for the tryouts, so keep voting while you still can.
Okay, in that case, I hope all the fans watching at home get to see their favorite superstars make it to the big stage. We now have a better understanding of what's to come, so thank you Dalton Long, Lenny Chang, and Byron Perry for your time. All right, and if you've made it this far in the program, the WCE would like to say thank you for your support. You all have no idea the action and craziness that is on the way, so if you want to help us out, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you're up to date on all things WCE. Now, with that out the way, I bring back Phil's annoying ass to introduce our final guest.
Kick Rock's van. All right, so all returning fans from our last program saw the brutal attack at the airport, where we saw Nicholas Lee sneak up on Proving Ground Gold case winner Grant X and tried to make his main roster debut a short one. This is the second time the Canadian prospect attacked Grant, and we still don't know the reason behind it. We still don't have confirmation if Nicholas will be be on the WCE roster, and Grant X has been in the hospital since the incident. So we don't know if he will even be able to compete at this year's tryouts. We all have so many questions, so we were able to get the man himself to finally tell us why he did what he did. Joining Van and I via satellite is none other than Nicholas Lee. Nick, I'm going to get straight to the point. The fans want to know, even not being officially part of the WCE roster, you continue these deliberate attacks on Grant X. Can you finally tell the world why?
Oh, cut the crap making it sound like that little didn't have it coming. You all saw that match at the first episode of Proving Ground. While I was controlling the goddamn match, this motherfucker decided to pull a fast one while I wasn't looking. And yeah, you could say that's my own damn fault. But guess what? That was still my one opportunity. So just like when he was talking online and at the airport on his little interview, I did the same thing to him that he did to me. I took his one opportunity. I made sure he couldn't even make it on his damn plane. His comic obsession might have made him forget that there's no such thing as a superhero with special powers or some bull like that. This is goddamn reality, and Nicholas Lee is that reality.
As I thought, it seems you're driven by the fact Grant was able to win that gold briefcase match you were also in, being that all 6 of the superstars competing were fighting for the chance to get a contract. Then he was given a huge step up, being selected with Griffin Danger by the chairman to automatically qualify for the WCE tryouts. But what about you, Nicholas? Are you even signed with the company right now? You can't just be attacking Mr. X without something to fight for, right?
I'm fighting for the same damn thing I was when I made my debut. To take that world championship home with the most talked about superstar outside the WCE, me. And I had the chance to talk with the chairman last week, and it is officially confirmed that I will be competing in the WCE tryouts, and I'm declaring myself for the 2024 draft.
Wait. We are not imagining this, ladies and gentlemen. Nicholas Lee has confirmed he will be joining the WCE roster. My goodness, this shakes up the entire tournament. I now have so many questions, but I'm being told we need to wrap up this episode. So let me ask you one final question. You injured Grant X, but if he is medically cleared to compete, he is still eligible for the tournament. And even if he doesn't participate, you will be the first person I'm sure he'll target whenever he returns. Are you worried at all about Grant X getting revenge and costing you your future success in the WCE?
I made sure of my success in the WCE when I put him out of commission for good. For all the fans watching at home that are praying for their little Proving Ground poster boy to come back, it's not gonna happen. I am the new face of the WCE, and he will never get in the way of the best damn wrestler in the world. I am the Nicholas Lee, and I make the calls around here from now on. This interview is over. I've said everything I needed to say.
All right. Well, we appreciate Nicholas Lee for finally telling the WCE universe his motives for what he did. I am still in shock that the chairman gave him a spot in the tournament, and then with Grant X in the hospital, it's like he just stole everything back from him. What's next from here? Is there even a chance he can return in time for the tryouts? And even still, what will he actually do?
All I can say is Grant X probably wants to do everything in his power to return before his opportunity slips away. But we will all have to wait until the tryouts to see what happens.
That's right. The long-awaited WCE 2024 tryouts will be airing live this upcoming week on Huncho 410 TV, where Warlord, Riley the Rebel, Hollywood Harvey, The Punisher, Blake Allen, Tyler Angel, AK-47, and Wesley Wolfe will face off against their randomly selected mystery opponent that could either be a WCE veteran or a fan-voted superstar from the community in the first round. The winners will be one step closer to competing at Death Mountain for the first ever WCE World Championship. You can't find a more action-packed show than the WCE, so make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all things WCE. I'm Phillip Stanley with my co-host Van Lewis, signing off. See you all at the tryouts.
Boom shakalaka!